2014 NFL season is underway.
Here we go.
And millions of eyes across the country are glued to scoreboards. The NFL's on-field action supports another game enjoying exploding popularity.
Davis for the second of the game. The fantasy boys going crazy right now. I need two more. Need two more time. It's coming. Trust me.
Let it be said that fantasy football is the most played game in the history of games. I mean, this is like on par with checkers.
What? Can that be? You've been playing this long, you never learned that?
You got to think back about fantasy football being a game and not being these individual performances that are going on out there.
Oh my goodness, can you believe that?
There are estimated to be more than 25 million players participating in the $10 billion fantasy football industry.
Hey, wait! I got you on my fantasy team! That's beautiful, guys. I need three more!
At Indiana University, Professor Ben Moats uses recreation to foster education.
This is just one example of a way that you might take somebody's interests and find out what the broader benefit of those interests are. And if you can identify those in things that are popular, then you've got a hook.
In 2012, Professor Moats proposed prediction probability in pigskin, a course born from a surprising source of inspiration.
My mother-in-law is a self-proclaimed math hater. She's turned off anytime we talk about math. I fight her to join a fantasy football league. She's paying attention to rankings. She's paying attention to projections. What she was doing was something mathematical. I mean, what she was doing was unquestionably thinking about numbers and comparing numbers and thinking about the quality of information in different contexts. So it just seemed like fantasy football was a way to get people thinking about math. Welcome to Prediction Probability in Pigskin. We're going to be diving into something that's pretty relevant to everybody in the fantasy football universe, and that is whether the rankings that people ascribe to in the beginning of a fantasy football season. The basic idea of the course is that students will analyze the decisions that they're making in the context of fantasy football by doing data analysis. In spite of the fact that I'm spinning it as a fantasy football course and they're going to get to play with their friends, this is a statistics class. And in the inventory, all of a sudden, all the seats were taken. The mere fact that there's this much interest in such a big waitlist for a statistics course is like knock your head on the wall outrageous. These are students that are lining up, quite literally, although electronically, they're lining up to learn about data analysis. The question for today is how accurate are pre-draft rankings? And I want to do it in a very...
When you were in C105, you're not in class.
All right, third pick. Do you have a team name?
With a passion of Jay Cutler. I had fun doing linear regressions, beast mode, or creating indexes, because I'm not creating an index to see what number is going to come out. I'm creating an index to see who I want to draft.
So do you want to filter it by running backs then? Yeah. That way we can see which one we want. Although we were talking about like these big data analysis topics, it didn't seem like it because it was football.
With the next pick, we select Eddie Lacy, Green Bay Packers.
Sweet.
It's a good pick.
While there are the sort of archetypal sports fans in the class, there's also people who've never played fantasy football before. So, I'll look at the current enrollment in the fall 2014 semester, and half of them are girls. Equation before, and this.
My dad, my brother, all my cousins, they've always been involved in it, and they just, I guess because I'm a girl, they never really asked me to play. My family got really interested in it, watching me play this semester. We pick Wes Welker because of the top 20 wide receivers. He had the lowest standard deviation.
I was offering a statistics class. My goal was to have people learn how to use Excel by all means, and yet here I am bringing families together.
One thing students won't find is a fail-proof formula for fantasy football success.
Here's the disclaimer that I should probably put at the bottom of my syllabus, and that's that this material probably won't win you fantasy football championships. Yeah, you could take what we learn and apply it to fantasy football, and you might become 5% more likely to win. Or, consider the broader relevance of this. You could learn data analysis and figure out ways to apply it to other systems, and you could be making a six-figure salary within the next 5 years.
In C105, enjoying data analysis is more than a fantasy.
I had fun doing the homework. I watch way more football now than I probably should. Maybe that's hurt my homework, in some way, but not for C105.